Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Wednesday. Today, as you can see here, I've got the Agora Models Porsche 917kh. So that means we're doing pack 11 today. Now pack 11, we don't actually need the car, we're just working on this front section here. We are going to be working on some decals, or decals, I don't know how people pronounce that. I'm also going to intersplice some stuff that we did on the Patreon stream, because we do have some covers to put over the headlights here. I'm not going to be using them, and you'll see why when you see the interspliced video for that. But if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Now, before we even start, something we do need to dig out is the headlight that we made in stage 1, because we're going to be taking this whole thing apart because it's wrong, and we're going to be replacing some of the things there. The other thing we need is, if I just take this off the car, is this main body section here, because we are going to be putting some decals just on this section here. We are going to be putting a decal on the other door. I don't know if I'm going to actually put that on this stage though, because I'd like to see what the actual skirt looks like with the other side of the decal, if there's another one to go on the bottom. This side already has them, but we do need to put them on the door that we're going to be supplied with this side here. So what I'm going to do is put the car on the floor and show you what we're doing in the first stage. So it all starts with stage 81, and these are the headlights, and you will see that we've actually got 2 surrounds, which is a bit strange because we already had the surround for the headlight in pack 1. It's because we're changing them. In this pack we've also got some decals. Now they do provide you with a spare, so if things don't go right first off, they do provide another one for you. These are for the headlights. Now these are the things that I'm not going to be using, but I will intersplice to show you what they actually do look like. So the first thing I need in this pack is this little headlight section here. This is the internal section here, and I do have a lens to put on. It's got one little lug there and a notch on the other side, so it can only go in one way. So when I put that in, it's going to be secured firmly into place here. Now we're making the right headlight here, so when we need to have the surround, we need the one that's stamped with an R. I also need the headlights. Now these are still attached to the car, and all I've done is just unplugged them. They look like this. We just left them in the car from the last few packs. What we're going to do, as you see, we've got 2 LEDs on here. I want to take the end one, feed that through the larger hole so it comes up through here like that. That is going to plug into the back of this section here. As you can see, there is a hole. Tweezers are your friend here to get this all the way in. Perfect. So that's not coming out. And then I can actually put this whole unit here into the holes that are left here. And as you can see, that's in place, and we're going to be holding that in with a screw. That's just a BP screw. Now we've got a fascia surround to put on. This has got 3 little locating lugs. That's just going to go behind the section we just put in. And I'm just going to line this up and then push this into place. As you can see, we can see all of the lugs behind, and there we go, that's what it looks like from that side. We're then going to make the main headlight, which is taking this lens here and putting the reflector into place so that the part that's coming off here is just going into that notch there. So again, line that up. And push that home like that. This is then going to be going onto the back of this section here. Just like this, so that this section here now is over the lug, and it's going to be held in with an AP screw. And there we go, that's in place. All we have to do then is take the other lens that we've got, the other bulb, sorry, put that in here, just like this. Make sure it's all the way in, and then just fold that wire up like that. So that is a completed headlight unit. Now what we're going to do is take the one that we had for the first pack, and we've got to start taking this apart. Because if I get all of these lenses off, you'll see what the problem is. And that is, first off, we never actually put the headlight wire through here with the LEDs on. And also, if you look at the back of this section, which I'm just about to take out, there's no hole. Or actually, there is on my one. That's interesting. So I don't have to use this section here. I've got the hole on my one, so I am actually just going to reuse the part. Some of you might notice on your one you don't have a hole at the back there. I have, so that's good news. And it's the same with my surrounds. Some of the surrounds don't have this hole for a lens, for an LED here. So mine does, so I'm happy. Okay, so exactly like last time, I'm just going to feed that up through the larger hole here. Put that into this unit here. Like that. Put this into place. You will find it easy to actually take out this silver section when you do this. Like that. Get this into place first. Once again, one of the flanged BP screws. And that's going to hold that into place. Put this bezel just over the top. And again, make sure that's in all the way. Put the headlight back in at the back here. And that's secured in with an AP screw. And then just put the LED in here like this. And just like last time, fold that wire up. So there we go. That's another completed lot of headlights. Now it's a case of bringing up my part work upgrades mat here, because I'm going to be taking the main frame. I'm just taking off the front section here. We don't need that at the moment. And turning this upside down just like this. Now we did have a lens come in this one, which looks like that. And a lens which come in pack one. Actually, it's the other way around. This lens come in this one. This lens come in pack one. What I want to do is take off the protection on both sides. Try not to touch the lens, because this is going to be going into this section here. Now, we do have a little lip on that side there. So what we want to do is when we put it in, we want to make sure that the lip still stays inside the car here. So, I'm just going to get this on. Take it in from the front. Put the lip in first, and then pull up the back. So it looks like that. Now, to hold this in, we need to put the headlight over the top. Now, the headlight we're working on is the right-hand side one. It's got the R stamped into it. So this is going to go over the top of everything we see there. Like that. And it's going to be held in with HM screws. Now, I have put this in some oil. So that's the front section down. I'm putting the front section down first because we have got that little lip that we don't want to slip out. And then I'll do the back section just here. Make sure they're nice and tight. And then that will be the first headlight in place, looking just like that. Pretty sharp, isn't it? Let's do the other one. Same thing. Peel off the protective film. Both sides. It's very staticky, so it's going to stick to your hand. Once again, bring it in from the underside. Just like that. I did get some fingerprints on the inside there, so I just want to get them off. I can always clean the other side in a second. This is why Agora Models provide these lovely polishing cloths here. Okay. When we're happy with that, we're going to take the other headlight, put that on, just like that. Once again, held in with HM screws. Just polish that one up as well. And there you go. That's the last headlight in place. Now the next section calls for us to put in these decals, and I'm really not happy with the way these are on the car. Now I did put these on the car for the Patreon, so what I'm going to do is intersplice some of that video here so you can see what they look like. It's entirely up to you if you fit these if you want. Basically these were put on the car just to protect it from stone chips and stuff like that. They could easily be ripped off and replaced with another one in its driving, so we're never meant to be put on perfectly or anything like that. In fact, in the instructions it does say that if you get creases and stuff, that's absolutely fine. I don't think it looks good on a model personally, so that's why I'm not using them. But that's all there is to do in that stage, and check out this video. Okay, this is where we're going to put these decals in. Now they're sitting in absolutely perfect. Look at those. They look lovely, and I can see why people don't want to change this. I can see why they don't. Now what's going to happen is, I'm going to put one of these decals on. Now on these decals, you've got a fatter side here. Let me just show you on the close-up camera. A fatter side and a thinner side. The fatter side goes towards the inside. So this is going to go on that side, and this one here is going to go on this side. But because of the deformity of this, there's no way that's going to go round that whole thing. Now, I am tempted to show you what it's going to do if I try to do that. I'm going to go on the main camera again, but I don't think I will. What I am going to do is I'm going to drown this in water. Now, this isn't a decal. This is a sticker. It's not a decal, it's a sticker. But you can still use the technique of putting water on that, sliding it into place, and then the stickiness will start, once it's evaporating, will start to stick to it. That's what I'm hoping will happen. If it doesn't, then we tried, but we will see. So let me just put some water on this. Probably, well, I'm hoping the water's not going to go into the inside lens. I think we're going to be all right. Peel this off. Oh, come on. This one's falling off a second ago. There we go. You see, it's got a clear bit on the inside. Now, because of the water on there, it should let me put this kind of on. But there's no rhyme or reason where this goes. Stand by. I need more water. Okay, I'm going to line up that edge there, I think. Just seeing how they've got it in the picture there. Okay. This decal does go, or this part does go below this section here. But I do think it needs to go a little bit more over like this. Having water on there certainly going to help. A bit further up. So these are just protectors for the lights. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the creasing there. I don't know if you can see that creasing. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, the water's helping me out. I've got Mrs. Welderwayne's hairdryer here. And let's see if this works. Going to turn the heat up a bit. See how that shrank then? That might. See how that shrank around then? Yeah, it's not too bad. I've got... That's not too bad at all. Now, do I go with that? What do you reckon? Okay, in stage 82, we're going to be adding some more details now to the front end of the car. So again, bringing the car over, turning it upside down. Let's have it this way round this time. We're going to be putting some vents in. I call them vents, but they're actually scoops, and they look like this. Again, they are stamped right and left. This is the right side, this is the left side. So we know what side these are going to go on. So the first one is the right one. It's going to go here like that. And then the left one is just going to be going on the other side there. Now they're held in with 2 IM screws this side, just 1 IM screw this side. Perfect, they're in. And again, from the front, that's what they look like now. Turn it back over, and we've now got some grids. Air build-up release grids, these are. Again, they do say what side they are. So this is the left side here. These are actually going in at the back here. So this is the left side one. That one's going to go in like this. Just there. And I've got the right hand side one here, which is going to go, oops, that way round, in like that. Again, held in with IM screws. So that's 2 in that side, and I just need to put 2 just in the other side there. When they're in, certainly coming along, isn't it? That looks like that. I've now got the grille to put in. This is what the grille's looking like here. This is just going to go into the front there. So what's going to happen is I need to bend all of these points at 90 degrees where it reaches the actual grille. So I'm going to use my flathead pliers for this and just show you what I'm doing, bending them all at 90 degrees. Okay, this then is going to go into the car here, making sure that it's perfectly flat in that indent there. And as you can see, that's now in there. All I'm going to do is turn it over there, and all of the tabs that we've got coming through, we need to fold them all the way back. And what that's going to do is pinch all of this into place to stop that grille coming off. I'm using this end of my tweezers here to do that. Put lots of force in the front to push it all the way through, so it's easy just to bend it back like that. See, I'm putting my finger here, pushing it down, and then using this side of my tweezers just to push the flaps back. And then do the same on this side. And that's all in place. That grille is going nowhere. All that's left to do then is to put the front section of the car in. So that's going to go in like that. We do have some little, what are they calling these? We've got some little blue hood cover locks. That's what they're called, cover locks, which I'm going to cut 2 of these off just to start off with. Now we have got different colour ones of these as well. So just so you know, we're not using them in this stage. We do have, still on the sprue, an orange one and a white one. I'm going to keep that safe for another time. We're not putting that on yet. But these are all the same and they are angled. And what's going to happen is this is what's going to hold this front end into the car. So they're going to go through the top here, making sure we put them on the right way, and push them all the way down. And it's going to go through the bonnet into the other frame of the car, which means once they're in, this won't be able to pop out. So I'm going to put 4 in on each corner. Now tweezers are your friend with this, because you do need quite a lot of elbow power to push them all the way in. But once that's in, that's going to hold that into place. Matter of fact, I should be able to turn this upside down and you see it's not falling out. But we're going to be putting the decal on now. Now, they do give you some spares if you make a mistake. I'm going to be taking this off with water, and then I'm actually going to be putting it into place with some micro set. Micro set is an adhesion promoter. Micro sol is a softener. So if you've got lots of deep curves and divots you want to use micro sol, I'm going to be using micro set to put this on. So I'll be putting some micro set around this section, even though this is going to be covered in water. Once it's in place, it shouldn't move. We do need to actually take this out when we're doing that. The only reason we're putting it on now is because I need to line up this, and it's sort of going to wrap around the frame at the top here. So now we know how these go. You can take them back out again, and they do just come out by, as a matter of fact, you could probably just push them out like that, just so I can get to the other side here. Okay, so got the water here, put that in there. It's going to need to stay in there for roughly, I'd say, a minute. Okay, that should be long enough. Let's take that out. Right, while that's still soaking, I'm going to get some micro set. I'm just going to put this all over this section just here. Make sure it's covered. That looks good. And definitely on this lip, because it's going to be coming underneath that edge there. Fish this out. It should slide on here, just getting that. And as it's sliding, it's picking up the glue as well. I'll put this on like this, so it's able to slide around. Match up this inner circle there, and then check how this section fits on it, because this is what we want to line up. So just getting that where it needs to be. Just looking at that, I need to have it facing me, unfortunately. I think that's going to look really good there. So I'm just going to blot that dry, just at the top. Take this off, and now using the other side of my cotton bud here, I'm just going to be folding this end under here. Now that micro set is an adhesion promoter, so it's going to ensure that it holds in on this side here. Just like that. Put this back on. Actually, let me just clear off any more moisture I've got. Again, just patting that dry. That looks good. Check that again. There you go. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now, need a cocktail stick, because what I will have to do is punch a couple of holes in this through the bodywork here. There's one just behind it here. Just like that. Making sure that they're big enough, because this is where the windscreen wipers are going to go. But that looks good. So I'm going to leave that to dry, but that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, I was just looking to see if there's any film on this. I can't see any film. So there's nothing to peel off there. What we're going to do, bring the car back over. And you see these tabs just at the top here? They're going to go inside first, like that. So then this whole windscreen can settle in place just here. It will take some pushing because we do have tabs just here. And you can probably see one just on that side. So we need to get them in as well. And there we go, that's in. But to hold that in place, we've got KM screws into these points just here. Those screws are supplied by this stage. So I'll get them all the way in. And there you go, that's in. So with the windscreen in place, it looks just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 84, we've got the top roll cage here. So again, get this out. This is a solid piece of metal, this is. Again, take the car, turn it upside down. And this is going to be going into this section here, lining up these sections here just over the points where this is going to connect. Like that. And the whole thing is going to be held in with IM screws. So once again, oil on every single one of these. And there's a lot of screwing to do. Also, if I do the ones at the back here, remember we've got two just over here. 1, 2, and then we've got just these ones here. Now that's the last one going in there, and that is all there is to do in that stage. Now, a lot more details here. In stage 85, we've got the windscreen wipers. We've got rear view mirror, and we've got an air scoop, and we've also got a door lock in here. So the first thing I want is the air scoop, which looks like that. Bring the car over. No screws for this. This is just going to go into the gap, which we put around the decal when we put that in. And that just pushes in here. We're then going to be putting in the left and right door locks. Going to get these out. Now remember, this is the right side, this is the left side. So I've got the left side here, just going to go onto that point there, and it's going to be held in with an IM screw. I've still got some of these left over from the last pack, so one in there. And then the right side is just going to go on here. They are stamped with the letter that they are. Now we do have a windscreen wiper to put in place. Now if I was to put that in now, which I will do, they just go into the holes that we created earlier. That's on. I am kind of worried that that might get damaged, but I'm going to take that risk. That's on, no problems at all. We're just going to make the rear view mirror now, which is just 3 sections here. The first section I am going to put on with a bit of glue. That's the back here and the bracket that's going to hold it. There is a D-shaped hole, so this is just going to go into the back like this. As a matter of fact, that fits really tight. I'm not going to use some glue for that. That's really tight. But I do have the mirror glass here just to put in the center. So peel off the adhesive here. Put that into this section. And once we've got it where we want it, which is good, just peel off the protective bit of film. And there we go, we've got a rear view mirror. Now again, bring the car over, turn it upside down. And it's going to go into this hole here. It is shaped, so it sort of tells you which way round this is going to go. I'm going to use my tweezers to help push that into space. Just like that. There we go. That's the rear view mirror in. Lots of little details on that one. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 86 here, we're going to be building the door hinges and door lock. This is going to be a little bit fiddly, but we do have to do this twice because obviously we're doing it for each door. Bear in mind, in this little section here, which got a bit of metal, there's a tiny spring in there. We need that spring now. So I'm going to take this little piece here and the longer pin. That's going to go through the top like that. On the other side of that longer pin, I'm going to put that tiny spring. So that fits over the top and that's in there like that. Then I've got the actual door catch, which looks like this. This little L-shaped thing, which is going to go over the top of that pin I put in. You will notice I'm holding that pin from the underside to stop it falling out. Just realised my spring isn't on properly. Let's get that on properly. That's better. Right. So we take this side, put it over the top of the spring and pin. That's in position. I'm then going to be taking the smaller of the pins here, and I'm going to lock all of these together through this side. Might help just to drop a little bit of oil just on the top of that pin just before you get it in, and it is going to take a little bit of moving around to get that through. As you can see, that's all the way through. So we've now got a pin locking mechanism. I've got a little metal thing that's going to go on the top of the pin to stop that falling out. Now this may feel a bit loose when it goes on. If it does, I would suggest just using a little bit of glue. And I'm talking a little bit of glue just on the very end tip of that pin, and just enough to stop this section here falling out when we put it in. And there we go, that locks in place. So now, when I push this in, you should see that moving like that. Excellent. Okay, we want to take the door from part one, and quite simply, this is just going to be going this way round through the hole in the door, like that. It's going to be held in place with an IM screw. And get that all the way in. So again, that should come out that side and I should be able to push that in, no problems at all. Now I do have a door light here. This has got a silver side or a chrome side and a white side. We want the white side to be towards the sticker. This is just going to be pushed into here. Again, I'm just going to check how it fits, because I don't want this losing later. I'm not going to glue that in. That's gone in quite well there. And that's the door completed. We do have two hinges which we're going to use in the next stage. So in stage 87 here, we've got some more details for the door, and we're going to be attaching it to the car. So get all these parts out. We've got the window. We've got the indent for the window here, which is this. It's just going to go in with some lugs. So line them all up. And you can hear that click. So now that's one complete window. We're going to put this on the car, just here. And it's going to be held in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these really tiny QM screws. Now these are going into metal, but they are small. Now I was going to use my small screwdriver, but I do remember that my PHO actually held these, which is crazy. So it does make short work of it. I'm going to put all of these into place. And there we go. That's the window in place. Bring the car over now, because we're going to start putting the hinges in. And the first hinge I've got looks just like that. And that's just going to go into this section, oops, just here, like that. Now it's going to be held in by this metal shaped brace, which is going to go on this way, and that's held in with an RM screw on this side and an NM screw with a little spring on the other side. So I've only loosely put that RM screw in, but I've got the NM screw here. This is a long screw, and I've got a tiny spring which is going to go on here like this to put in the other side of this silver section just here. And just get that in as tight as you can get it. Perfect. That should now have a nice frictioned hinge. Now on the point just down the bottom here, we've got the other hinge to put in, and we've got a brace for that as well. So that's going to go in this way like this, and the brace is just going to go over the top here, a little bit fiddly because we've got the mirror in the way there. Kind of like that. It's going to be held in with JM screws. And there we go, that's in nice and tight. All we need to do then is attach the door to the car. Just like this. Make sure that these fit perfectly into where they're going to go. One there and one over this side. The door needs to be fitting square in here as well. And that's going to be held in with BM screws. It will help to actually lock the door. Make sure the door's in the lock there before you screw this in. And again, you want to get these screws in as hard as you can. And there we go. So that's the door in place. So if I push the lock in, undo the door, and it opens like that. Then it just shuts like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 88, we've got the other door here. Now this is what I was talking about, this decal that we've got. Because as you can see, this door hasn't got the decal attached to it. But the issue I've got, they do give you spares, by the way. You've got 2 here, so I will keep these safe. But if I was to put this decal on now, I don't know if we've got another decal to go on the skirt that's going at the bottom. And I don't want to put this decal on and it to be off center with that skirt. I'm guessing we do have a decal for the skirt as well. I don't want to risk it though, so I'm not going to be putting the decals on this stage. So what we can do is just put that to one side and move on to the last stage of this pack, which is the other window and another door lock. So we've just done this. We should be able to whiz through it this time. So once again, here's the window. Here's the glass. Just pushing these two together until they click like that. This is going to go in here, held in with QM screws. And there you go. Here's the last one going in. And as if by magic, that's another window done. We're going to be putting that light in again. So again, with the white side facing towards the inside here, or where the decal would be. Again, I'm just going to push that in. Make sure it holds okay. That's good. It's holding really well. So that's in. Going to now make the lock. So once again, we want to take the long pin, which is in this pack. Push that through the back here so it comes out the front. Put the spring over the top. Make sure you use the right spring, by the way. Not the big black spring. There's a really tiny spring in here. It's a lot more delicate. See, kept my mistake in then. I almost used the wrong spring. Okay, when that's in, this time the pin's coming in from this side. So I do put a little bit of oil on that just to help it on its way. And then push that with my hands. And then use my pliers here just to get it all the way in. Just like that. So we got the working barrel lock. I'm going to put a touch of glue just to the end. Not a lot. I barely stroked it. Then I've got this barrel to put over the top. Which when it's all the way in, like that, is not going to come out. So we've got one completed section there. Again, bring the door over and put this into position. This way round, through the lock, over the top there. It's held in with an IM screw, which I've got here. And then I just want to check that when I push this in, this catch moves, as you can see there. Excellent. Bring the car back over because we're about to put that door into place, which means putting the hinges in again. So this time we've got the hinge that looks like that. It's just going to go in here. Get that to sit in. We've got the silver section here, which is going to go over the top. Like that. And once again, we want a little RM screw just for the narrow side there. And then one of the bigger NM screws with the spring for the other side. Just like that. Get these in nice and tight. And you know you've got it tight because you should have some friction on that hinge. That's good. Put the other hinge in place, which again is going to go in this way here. And once again, with this part over the top. And they're held in with JM screws. All that is the case then, putting the door in. Again, when you put the door in, just move the hinges out of the way. Make sure the door fits flat and engage the lock here. So it's not going to fall out. And then just use some BM screws in those two holes. And if I move the mat out of the way, that is the doors in place. Let me just open them up. So you can see how they look. And that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. That was pretty impressive, wasn't it? But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments, because I know it's practical that we have these on the car. I just don't think they look nice on a model, but that's my 2 cents. You'll have to tell me what you think. Please, I'd like your opinion. If you do like what we're building here, there's one more pack to go now. You can get this from Agora Models, and the link's just down there. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.